So, Yuan, you're good, or you need me to do something?
Hi, Sandeep. Yes, I need you to make me a host, please, or co-host.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Love in Your Life. My name is Eddie, and I will be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you an overview of this practice session. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to attain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang where we meditate in silence. Group sessions. These practice sessions are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these practice sessions, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. But only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you'll receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the informative session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born into a Satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England, facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Happy Tuesday. Sorry for the technical issues today. Once in a while, we run into those. So today, actually, I was reading a book written by Pandit Mahilalji, one of my grandfather's disciples, who used to live very close to the Taj Mahal. And I visited that place, and there were like, I was saying, there were like almost 10,000 people for that event. Very small place and lots of people. And weather was hot and very humid. He, you know, in the late 70s, so way back when, got me started. So me and my father went to one of those suburban retreats where, you know, what my grandfather did was every big city, there would be like a 3-day, 5-session, you know, satsang called Bhandara, where, you know, people from all over would come. So every city would have like an annual retreat. So I went to one of those, and that's where he got me really hooked onto this practice that will do or what we practice here. So I think I was still in high school, and his simplicity, his you know, sustaining himself at very high spiritual levels, and you know, things that we talk about, the light, love, and peace, all, you know, the embodiment of, you know, all of that. So I actually, when I spoke there, I talked about one of his books, which is The Journey to Self-Realization. And so I'll just take a few minutes and talk about the first chapter there. So he says, you know, and I'm paraphrasing and translation, there's a lot that gets lost in translation. So that discredit goes to me. But so he talks about that you are the beginning and the end of this universe. And so you know, and so essentially there is no universe before you, the self, and there will be no universe after you. So now, and beyond that is what could be called consciousness, soul, God, or however you want to emphasize that. So for example, he says, like, think of bubbles on top of the ocean. So bubbles come and out of the ocean and live for a bit, and then they dissolve in the ocean. So you and the universe. So it's like the entire universe is nothing but a bubble out of this ocean. So, you know, a bubble like you exists for some time and then dissolves back. So essentially, you know, those bubbles live for a certain period of time, and that's the time the universe lives. And beyond that is, you know, the ocean, which he says is the soul, or guru, or God, or consciousness. So, which is forever and formless, and hence, you know, essentially, if you, so it depends on, you think of the self, the deep self, as the bubble or the ocean. So if you think yourself as you're part of the ocean, then you are, you know, forever, formless, infinite, because your existence is, you know, part of that which is beyond that bubble. So, and then he also kind of goes into, you know, do you understand the origins of the universe? The question has been asked for ages, still a mystery, and, you know, an amazing phenomena. Is it forever, or is it forever changing? So possibly everything, you know, would all this kind of get into a black hole and vanish? So what is it really? So those, he says that those who got a glimpse of what it really is, they find that there is this one element, and call it whatever you want, but you know, that consciousness is all pervasive, and that consciousness is then perceived in our five senses. So in sound, in aroma, in touch, in taste, in the visuals. So if you need to understand yourself, and you want to get to the state of self-realization, the self-realization is the state of being, you know, so aware and so awakened, that you then understand that your existence is beyond this physical world. So, and this, you know, I'll actually talk about some of that in ongoing sessions. It's just a very, you know, 5 small chapters. So slowly I'll get into some of that. But and basically what he's saying is that, you know, the person who can make you aware and awake to understand that your existence is beyond this physical world. It's not just the bubble, but the ocean itself. You know, those folks are referred to as guru. So, you know, but anyway, so let's practice. You know, so one of the things that we would be able to achieve through this meditation on transcendental energy and transcendental light is that your ability to connect and your ability to feel the presence and feel this, your own existence beyond this physical world, which transcends the world. So let's get into the practice. So we start with inward orientation and concentration, as Eddie kind of talked about. It is inner satsang. Inward orientation is key here. So to do that, eyes lightly closed, sit in a relaxed posture such that for the time of meditation, it's a still and relaxed posture, so that every time the body moves, your mind moves with it. We want to reduce that for concentration purposes, and eyes lightly closed for that reason, that the sensory input distracts the mind as well. So eyes lightly closed, still posture, and now we're looking inwards into our heart. And what we do is feel the presence, feel that the transcendental energy in form of light is in front of us, and that light is entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we're becoming completely and totally immersed in this light. So the object of concentration here is this transcendental energy in form of light that's enlightening our heart, and then permeates throughout your body, and you become this light, this energy. And when you go deep into this thought, you forget about where you are, who you are for that moment, then you are in deep meditation, and that leads to higher consciousness. So that's the 4 steps that are part of Ashtanga Yoga, which Guru Maharaj kind of packaged it in this practice. So I'll repeat one more time that we'll sit in a relaxed posture, eyes lightly closed, and think of the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we're becoming one with this light. When mind wanders away, which it will, again, the inward orientation, you start thinking about, this transcendental energy, which is in form of light. It's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are getting completely and totally immersed in it. We'll start with music to help the concentration, and then we will, the music will fade away, and we'll get into deep silent meditation, and then we'll transition out with music again. So let's start now. Happy Tuesday, everyone. So, yeah. Quite a deep session today, it looks like, at least for me. Any questions, comments? Omkar, anything on your mind? Oh, you are still muted.
Namaste, Bhaiya. Can you hear me? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking what you said in the beginning, that the universe starts and ends with you. So a person like me cannot actually understand the notes of music, or like art, or so many things are there. And there are like even some behavioral nuances that like I don't understand. So with such a limited capability or intellectual capability, like how will it be possible to understand these um, very heavy concepts?
Yeah. No, that's the key. And I think that's why there is meditation. And that's why there are, gurus that exist to make us understand some of the deeper concepts. Yeah. See, it's if you really look at the deep I, or the self, the concept of self. So self-realization is the realization that you're talking about. So that's the journey, right? So Eddie, any comments on that?
Yeah, self-realization, right? It's the goal of religions and spiritual practices, whether those who practice it are aware of it or not, right? So it's the one goal we all are trying to achieve. But I was thinking of something interesting, and it was a lesson that is taught on how we achieve it, and that is to calm the mind, right? And in doing that, when the thoughts cease and become silent, then we have this perception of ourselves, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that by performing what Guru Maharaj has taught us, and that, right? And so ultimately, our mind gets to a point to where those thoughts those thought vibrations that constantly rise up fade away, and then we have perception of truth, if you will, a high levels states of consciousness. But the lesson in there that we may not be aware of is that we stop focusing on the negative thoughts or the things that we don't want to happen, and we just focus on the light, which is the goal that we want to achieve. And so by doing that, we achieve our goal. But when we focus on the constant rising of the thoughts, we never get there. And so I wanted to make mention of that because I heard these discussions like over the past couple of weeks where people were focusing their energy on the things that they didn't want. And it was like just an obsession. It was like, oh, this and that this is happening to me, and why? And the unfortunate part of that is, because you put so much energy into it and it's always on your mind, you attract that to you. And so in Satsang, we learn, the opposite of that. If you want to get rid of it, then you have to stop focusing on it and focus on, the thing that you want to happen, positive thinking, if you will, or whatever. But I just found that, in this Satsang, we learn so many, lessons that we can use practically in our lives. And, and that was just one more of them.
Yeah, well said. It's, I personally also felt that when we get caught up in situations, we might know the solution, but we get so consumed in focusing on the problem that the focus on solution gets away. And so how would you solve it if you're not, so if you continue to look at the problem and become part of the problem rather than the part of the solution. So that's interesting. All right. So, yeah, thank you for being here. I don't know, today was like a really deep session for me. So glad that we all were here and have a good week ahead. We'll see you all here soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.